Say what's up.
Hey.
Sorry, forgot the air conditioner. Damn it, got us the last second. We was all sitting here.
Well, I wasn't ready. I'm never ready.
Yeah. Fridge is in there blinking like a son of a gun. Don't know what that's all about.
Refrigerator. We've been having fridge issues here lately. I think we got it figured out, though. So.
Brandy left it open for way too long putting groceries up, and it got hot. Now it's whacking out.
Yeah, I think it'll be okay, hopefully.
We've ordered the piece for it. Is that you playing footsie with me? I thought Zeke done rolled up on us or something. Now he's almost in frame.
Y'all probably don't need to know our fridge drama, but we thought we'd tell you.
Yeah, we seem a little off because it just happened right before we come on. Oh, yeah, let's let Zeke give a shout out since
we've had a bad time with the fridge, I tell you. Like, it started about a month ago. First, it started not making ice. And then everything on the bottom was freezing. Everything on the top was too warm. And we defrosted it a couple times, tried that, kept on doing the same thing, freezing everything. We finally took it apart, and it's the fan. The fan's messed up, so we ordered the fan. I think that's the issue. There's Zeke.
What's up, guys?
He thought he'd come see y'all.
ZDTC.
Into everything.
Zeke's been our buddy while the kids were away.
Yeah.
Summer break.
We get a babysit Zeke.
We babysit Zeke the whole time. Me and him's tight now, or her. Okay. Set in. She's like, they're not letting me do it. Y'all hadn't seen Zeke in a minute. He don't ever get no bigger or smaller. He's a runt, ain't he?
Yeah. She's female. We thought it was male. That's why it's named Zeke. But females are a lot smaller than males for some reason.
Yeah.
Ferrets.
I put out a video not too long ago, but you guys didn't see it because it got, what's the word for it? Removed.
Removed, yeah.
Yeah.
He's been a bad boy.
I was making fun of a predator, and
you can't do that. Bullying.
Yeah, I was accused of that. So that's because I know I see some of y'all, I think, are here now that was here because I did a premiere with the video, and it turned out it got removed. So I'm not going to even talk about it because apparently.
And it sucks because he spent all day
I spent 2 days making it because it was awful what this person had admitted to freely on camera. They had said that they were dating a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
And lots of horrible things. And I just showed that because the police didn't arrest him. Didn't seem very interested.
And that hits home. That's how old our daughter is, 9 years old.
Yes. And it was a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old he was talking to.
Where are these kids' parents? That's what I like to know.
It's awful.
Nasty. Nasty old guy.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Speaking of well, nasty. Accusations are bad.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But I know most of y'all have already seen this, but I made my version of it and I edited it way down. So this is going to tell y'all the story of what we're going to talk about. It's my edited version, and this is what JLR come out with. And I know some of a lot of y'all have probably seen this, but this is for those that haven't.
And I give JLR some credit. He did some digging.
He did a good job finding this.
It tells you a lot.
Inside the garage for items that appeared to buy out of place. Inside the garage, Linda Berry located an open laundry room, which contained several.
Let me start over.
Tell him, or you don't play the. Oh, it was in the middle. Okay.
Y'all bear with us. It's been a little easy,
Donald
but I think
Wesley West. He got arrested for burglary, and you see the DOB there, which is clearly the Don Well. When he broke into this woman's garage, and this was the property taken July 20th, 2006 at 12:39 9 a.m. Officer Lindaberry and I were working, breaking, and entering patrol. They drew our attention to a suspicious male in the driveway. The juvenile stated that the residence was friends and that the male did not belong to the address. I then observed a white male, later identified as Donald Wells, wearing a white t-shirt, standing on the driver's side of a blue and white van parked in the driveway. I noted that the garage was open to the resident. When Wells observed us pointing to his location, he walked to the front of the van, which was facing the garage, and crouched down behind it out of sight while we went to speak with Mr. Wells. I could still see Wells attempting to hide by crouching down in front of the vehicle. Wells stopped and began to lean on the front of the van while we rode up to the driveway toward. Upon making contact with Mr. Wells, I noticed him to appear to be nervous and have shaking in his voice as we spoke. Wells stated that he was waiting for Johnny to come home. Wells advised that Johnny's mother was inside asleep, but that she did not know he was outside waiting. Wells initially advised that he has been waiting for Johnny for approximately 2 hours outside residence, but that he was getting tired of waiting and was going to leave soon. It was again confirmed that Wells had not made plans to meet Johnny at this location and that Wells had shown up on his own accord to try to find Johnny. Due to Wells's demeanor and the fact that he kept sticking his hands into his pocket, Officer Lindaberry obtained consent to search Wells's pocket. During the consent search, Lindaberry located a pair of red panties in Wells' right front pants pocket. Wells initially advised that the panties were from his wife, who resides at the West End, but then corrected himself, stating that they were his girlfriend. Wells stated that he also was picking up some item that he had stored in the shed. Wells said that Beatty did not know that he was storing his things in the shed and did not want her to find out. Officer Lindaberry began looking around the area and inside the garage for items that appeared to be out of place. Inside the garage, Lindaberry located an open laundry room, which contained several lingerie items. Officer Lindaberry advised me about what he had discovered in the garage, at which time I advised Wells of his Miranda warning. Wells advised that he understood his rights and agreed to speak with me without an attorney present. During the interviews, Wells admitted that he had entered the garage and took the panties from the laundry room. He said he was going to use the panties at a later time. He denied having any UXUAL contact with himself or anyone else at the residence while waiting on Johnny.
Sorry.
Sorry.
We're muted.
Where was I at?
Did y'all hear what he was doing? I'm sure. Go over that.
So Dawn was,
Going to use the panties for his pleasure, like later.
Yeah.
Right? Pleasuring himself. I'm guessing. Nasty.
Can y'all hear me now? You can, right? Yeah, I think we should be good. But anyway, when I heard that come out from the JR thing, right? I picture a younger guy, late teens, early 20s, right? Because it was 2006. That's been
A long time ago.
17 years ago.
Right.
Right? And it's just what come into my head. Then I thought about it. He was 40.
40 years old doing that. That's creepy.
40 years old at your buddy's house when you know your buddy's not going to be there. His buddy was away for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
The buddy's mom, and that's weird too. His buddies live with their moms. It's all so strange.
They didn't have any arrangement to meet.
They had no arrangement to meet. Dude wasn't going to be there, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't even supposed to be there that weekend. He was out. And they made it like Dawn knew that. So what is he up to?
Mr. Panty Sniffer. No, I shouldn't say that, but that's nasty.
We just got a crack for.
I don't care. I don't think that's bad. Do you?
I don't think what I did before was bad, but here we are.
Panties and Sniffer.
But he, I don't know. I don't know how to explain that. How a 40-year-old man gets caught doing that.
And the bad thing about it, like, we couldn't play the whole thing, but the first part, he was hiding behind the vehicle. So he knew he was up to nothing good. He didn't want to be spotted by the police officers, you know? So he was hiding at first.
Yeah. The way, and this was really long. I cut it way down, but the way they made it out was like they were in the neighborhood because somebody had been breaking into cars. They thought it was juveniles breaking into cars. Well, they see these kids, and these kids are like, there's a dude over there that shouldn't be over there. And they're seeing Don, and he's over there crouched down, hid and shit. And he, like, the way they made it out, the officer in the report made it out, like he hid trying like hell not to be noticed. But they noticed him right off the bat, apparently.
Yeah, if you're not doing anything creepy or anything wrong, why are you hiding?
But the thing about this is, though, this behavior 15 years ago, okay, behaviors escalate to more serious things. You go from 15 years ago, he's caught doing that, to now, it's the natural escalation would be about right. You know what I'm saying? To what they say about this. And I looked it up. I even Googled it to see if that's a common thing. And it says, hold on, I got it.
Got it. I watched a lot of crime videos, and a lot of them do that when they're young. It turns into something worse, you know.
Oh, never mind. I don't have it. I got the whole article about it. But there's an example. It says that it's common for behaviors like this to escalate because, you know, they get the rush off first, the act of taking whatever, and then it's like to get that same effect, they have to up the game, right? And there's a story of this one guy that I found. This guy takes the cake. You've got to see. God, I'm sorry, y'all. We are struggling. Our internet is been jacked up all day for some reason. I don't know what's going on.
It's just a little bit delayed.
Yeah.
Just hang with us. Hang on.
So let's take that out. Hopefully that'll catch us up. Is the other shit good? I think. I hope. Cat got your tongue? You ain't very chatty this evening.
No, I thought you were going to pull up something about the other guy, or no?
Yeah, that's what I'm working on. I was hoping to fill in while we're waiting on the lag.
I was waiting on you. I'm sorry. Yeah, Don's creepy. This is a creepy situation. I didn't know anything about it. Did you?
No, I mean, I knew he had a lot of arrests for different shit.
Yeah.
But JLR managed to.
How desperate you gotta be to go steal some woman's panties.
Check out this article. This was in ABC News, okay? July 15th, 2004. Despite the initial snickers it may spark, underwear theft is no laughing matter and could be a harbinger of more sinister crimes. Police in Corvallis, Oregon say underwear theft is one of the main reasons they consider Sung Koo Kim a person of interest in the disappearance of Brigham Young University student Brooke Wilberger. Wilberger, 19, was last seen May 24th at Corvallis apartment complex her sister manages. Kim, 30, is accused of stealing women's underwear from 3 different Portland area college dormitories or laundry rooms, including an April burglary at Oregon State University Sackett Hall, which is near the site where Wilberger was last seen. Police who searched Kim's home said they found more than 3,000 pairs of women's panties and recovered dryer lint that was traced to Wilberger's sister's apartment complex. Kim has not been charged in the Wilberger case. He has pleaded not guilty to burglary charges in the alleged underwear raids. How are you going to get caught with 3,000 pairs and plead not guilty?
I think that's crazy. They can link the lint to where it came from. That's crazy.
His lawyer has said that there's evidence that places him away from Corvallis on the day Wilberger disappeared, but police say they cannot verify the alibi. But that's how they found him. He's a big suspect because of that.
Creepy as hell. 3,000 pairs.
3,000 pairs. And I think the police think he had something to do with that girl.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
All the girls in that dorm, like, gosh, those washers keep on eating my panties. I don't know what's going on.
You know, we need to look into that and see what come of that.
When was that? What year?
2004. Look up, what's her name?
Brooke something.
Brooke Wilberger.
I seem like I've seen her name before.
Have y'all heard of that? Brooke Wilberger? Brooke Wilberger. I don't know. Y'all heard of that? This is what Chris M has been saying from the beginning. This is his specialty, crimes against children. People act like he doesn't know what he's talking about. Pedos don't change.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's my thing, though, that it really set in with me was when I realized he was 40 when that happened. 40?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's nasty. Really?
40. I thought that was mind-boggling. What does it say?
Joel Patrick Courtney pleaded guilty to the murder. That's somebody else, isn't it?
That wasn't him, was it?
No.
Okay, so he didn't he wasn't responsible for that.
No.
But hold on, let me make sure. What's his name? Yeah, he was Sung Koo Kim. Wow, that's crazy that a panty thief got wrapped up. Thank you, Christy. I'm in Corvallis, but it won't let me so normal chat.
Thank you, Christy.
But it won't let me so normal chat. Huh.
What?
Everybody should be able to chat. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's crazy, though. It wasn't dude. He just happened to be a panty collector.
3,000 pairs. That's crazy. That's crazy. What was he? I just don't want to. I don't want to know what he's doing with them. Really.
What would you do with 3,000 pair?
Lay in them and surround yourself with them, sleep in them at night. I don't know. It's nasty.
I tell you though, you're 40 years old, and that apparently, from everything JR, he showed all this stuff. He had filed Freedom of Information Act. It looks legit as hell to me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to believe that's true. A dude in his 40s that's doing that has a problem. It's not normal.
A big problem.
It is not normal.
No, it's not. No, it is not.
It's scary, ain't it?
And people will probably come out and try to defend him, I'm sure. We'll see. He probably won't talk about it, though, I'm sure.
See, that was my thing, though, when I put the thumbnail out, was I put new #1 suspect. But I swear, I still feel like, and I could be wrong about this, but if Don didn't have a rock-solid alibi, if he was lying about where he was that day, they would have known it by the records and stuff. But I could see Candace calling her and being like, look, this happened. She needs to go to the hospital. What do I do? You can't do that because of blah, blah. Does it move Dawn up to you in the possibility category?
Yeah, you gotta look at them. Because before it's like, I was looking more at Candace, because she was there that day. But
this is bad for Dawn.
Yeah, you have to think twice. He's sick to do something like that.
Now, I'm not going to assume everybody thinks it was Dawn or Candace. But for those that think it was Dawn or Candace, put in the chat who you think is responsible.
Or both.
I feel like Dawn was just set up for an alibi that day. I really do. For some reason, with the car and
Mhm.
being at work when this happens,
Maybe.
it would almost have to be both.
I was just thinking how bad it would be if he was in somebody's house and they come home or something. He would scare the crap out of somebody.
Oh,
And that could have escalated, you know.
yeah.
So, what would you do? What would your husband do? Come home with a man in your panty drawer? Probably wouldn't be good.
And
Even if he says, "Yeah, I was drinking and stuff," I don't remember that. That's not an excuse.
I don't know, man. I've never been drinking and done something like that.
Yeah. Why would you think of it? Yeah.
That would almost have to be something subliminal for a drunk to even do it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
If the two parents had been cleared, then surely law enforcement have a duty of care to clear them. I feel Kenneth had more to do with that day, but Dawn was committing crimes on Summer. Yeah, I think that's a pretty popular opinion.
Yeah.
And
They haven't cleared either of them either.
yeah, and that's the thing. What you're saying, I've said a lot too. I really feel like if law enforcement thought they could clear them, they
Mhm.
would.
Yeah.
Because they don't want the parents out there in society getting ridiculed any longer
Yeah.
than they have to if they ain't responsible. But law enforcement's in no way went out of their way to say, you know, we don't think the parents had nothing to do with it, but everything's on the table. They're pretty much just everybody's still suspect.
Yeah. And they might have evidence, just not enough evidence to charge them, you know? So.
Don can't get that third strike. I think it's involved that CPS case. I do not believe Dawn was at work all day. I think Kenneth just went along with it because she's a
Follower. Really.
follower. Yes.
I agree.
I don't know. JLR seems to think the impression I got was that it could be Dawn without Kenneth necessarily
No one.
being much in on it. I just don't see that because he would have had to have avoided her too, which that would on the thing about it being Dawn, that would explain the dog's not getting wired up, possibly. You know, I'm sure he could have rolled up there and the dogs wouldn't have flipped out. You know?
Yeah, it could have been Dawn. Yes, that would be a good possibility.
But I gotta think Dawn's alibi has been gone over, and if he lied about being at work to the TBI and they had proof of that, they'd have arrested him. That's what I can't get by. If his alibi is not rock solid and he lied about it, why hasn't he been arrested? Either they can't prove it.
There's some reason, yeah, they don't have enough evidence. So.
That though, for that to come out this late, you know, he's probably been sweating that for months.
He probably, yeah. He's probably like, wow, they haven't found out about that yet.
And see, the thing about that is, it's hard digging with them because there are so many charges between him, Junior, and Dad.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff. And there's apparently that's a fairly common name too, because I come up on a ton of Dawn Wells when I do it. You know?
Yeah, that's why he went back and showed the birth date to make sure, you know, everybody knew it was the right Dawn Wells.
Yeah, and from what he showed, he has the right Dawn Wells. So I think it looks legit as hell to me.
Looks creepy.
And that means that 15 years ago, the father of a missing child was out stealing. And that whole situation was weird too, because for some reason, you didn't watch the whole thing. The daughter had thought that woman that was in the house, Johnny's mom or whoever they're talking about, was overdosing and committing suicide.
What?
It was crazy. Oh, I said that. Unaliving.
The whole thing's strange to me.
I think, Holly, didn't you hear the whole thing? You want to try to come up? Let's give it a shot. Are you down for a minute? It's all strange,
Very
but
strange.
there was more to it that makes you wonder what else was going on there. You know what? There you go.
What, did he get charged with anything from that?
Yeah, for theft.
That
I didn't see what the outcome was, if there was one.
so the way they made it sound, he didn't only have the panties, he had other stuff.
He
Lingerie
was
and stuff.
working on other stuff, yeah, but he had those in his right front pocket, is what it said. So I don't know what his intentions were.
First, he tried to lie and say it was his wife. They're like, I better not do that. I better not say that.
See, man, and that's the, if you want to get in some deep shit, that's the worst thing you can do is just start lying. He was like, that's my wife's. No, it was my girlfriend's.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't married then though, because that was before Candace, and I think that was after what's her name.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I think he had double check or think about that. Like, oh, I'm not married. Maybe I should have said it was my wife. You think?
Maybe. Who knows? Who knows how that mind works?
Hey.
You got a copy, Holly?
Huh?
You copy?
Yeah, I forgot what we were talking about. Sorry. My mind wandered.
Did I see you live in that chat when JLR did that?
Did what? About the panty story?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in there for a little while. Mm-hmm.
There was a lot more to the story, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was, all I got from it was that, he was outside somebody's property, wasn't supposed to be there, and he was there for a couple hours or more, and that he went into
That's weird too.
Into the garage, where, this is how I understood it,
Mm-hmm.
the garage where the laundry room was, or laundry dryer was there, and went into that dryer and got the underwear. And then, like you said, there was some other things going on, and somebody pointed out Don, and that he looked suspicious, and that's when they went over to check. I didn't get anything more than that myself.
You didn't hear the part about the woman that was in the house?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, and she had overdosed. Took a bunch of sleeping pills. They said they couldn't get much out of her, but were able to ask her, was Don supposed to be there? Did she know about him? And she said no. But because she said that, then he ended up getting arrested. But that the story with her ended there. There wasn't any more information about. It's just so bizarre that she was trying to take her own life at the same time Dawn's standing out by her garage and stealing her underwear. It's just, I don't know. Something doesn't set right with me. That's weird.
That is weird.
What are the odds of that time and having nothing to do with one another in some way?
I know. I mean, we run across a lot of coincidences with John and Candace, don't we? I mean, there's, just always the big coincidence with the timing and everything. And so I guess she just happened to decide to take her life while he was standing. I don't know. It's bizarre. Huh?
What's the defense been for the JLR stuff? Has it been brought up on other places?
The defense is just that, he was being stupid and, this is ridiculous. It's underwear and that kind of thing, which, don't get me started, because that's still very,
at 40
violent
years old,
against women, because you were invading that woman's, her world, and you are, it's a way to try to control women, have power over them. Like, I can take this if I want to. you know, who knows? Maybe he had been doing things like this to her for a while, and that's why she was at her lowest point. I don't know. That's pure speculation, but um, it's really strange to me, the story.
That's more than a character flaw at 40 years old. I'm sorry. That's not something I think that's just laugh offable. A man
No.
of that
Yeah.
age
Yeah.
taking those.
Right.
Who knows what else he's done?
That
Well, that's
sounds
the
like
thing. I think it solidifies the fact for a lot of people that, you know, we start talking about Jeannie and Mary and their stories, and it supports that. I mean, he's a sexual deviant. Um, like we said, those things escalate, and you know, I think he's done worse, and I think this police report, you know, I mean, it speaks for itself, really.
Yeah.
You know, people don't like it coming from JLR. I'm kind of indifferent about him. He certainly does seem to get some information that's news to us.
right.
You know, he digs deep and seems to find things that do matter sometimes. And this is a police report. This is not his opinion,
Yeah,
and we
I'm
just need to
good.
remember that.
If you have documents to back it up, you know, I'm good with it. And he
Hmm.
did.
Well, see,
Yeah.
I just got on to him last week for joking about the submersible situation because I thought that was so bad that the dad and the son died. And
Yeah.
I seen this, and I told Brandy, I was like, man, he killed it with this because he found it.
Yeah.
You got to give him credit. And that's work following Freedom of Information Act and all that on a whim. I didn't think about it because I've seen all these charges, and for him to be able to wedge all that out and pull
Yeah.
this out, that's you got to give him some credit for
I
that.
Yeah.
know that's some work. Yeah. And I mean, he's done things that I didn't like either. He's done things where I was like, you know, that was in bad taste. You
Yeah,
know, some things that really turned me off. But for the work that he does and the information he gets that has, you know, proof to it, I appreciate that. That
Do
I do
being
too.
too.
in this case, I mean, we would we wouldn't have known about this most likely if he hadn't dug it up. So
I don't. I mean, look how long it's been, and nobody's caught that. You
Yeah.
know,
I know, I know.
I'm shocked by that.
And you've looked through his
And
background.
yeah, I've
his
looked through
records.
it, but I never thought about it. Anytime I would see like a trespass or a theft, I would just assume he was stealing something from me to buy dope. I never thought
Me
about
too.
something
Yep,
like this.
me too. Me too.
You
Thought,
know,
you know, he was stealing stuff for drug money, most likely, is what I thought.
and without filing the Freedom of Information Act and getting the background report or the police report, you wouldn't have known it either because you wouldn't have seen that.
Right.
Yeah. I guess doing something like that is seen as not as big a deal in law enforcement size because he would have been put on the RSO list for this if you could get put on there um, for doing like stealing these panties and what he
Right.
did. Yeah.
I tell you, and like I said, I Googled it after I found this out. I Googled, um, does how did I put it? The lingerie theft results in further, in getting bigger, and it does. There's a lot of stuff out there, stories about um, this is what they did when they were younger,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
evolved
Uh-huh.
into a lot worse stuff. You
Right.
know,
Right.
they had that like Canadian Air Force general.
Yeah, I was gonna bring him
He
up.
he
And
that
that's
was
what he
his
did.
thing, and he went on to murder.
He murdered
Oh
3
yeah.
women, 3
Yeah.
or 4.
Yeah, I made a video on him. He was the first thing that popped in my mind
And
when
I'll tell you, I just was thinking about that. I
What's
didn't
his
know his
name?
name
That's
though.
killing me now. Russell something, ain't it?
Russell Williams.
Russell Williams.
I think that
Yes.
yeah.
He
Yeah,
messed with
he
his neighbor.
definitely
His neighbor was the first one he started messing with. She would be missing her panties and stuff.
yeah, exactly. And he ended up killing 2 women
2
after he
women.
did some horrible things with them. But the
Yeah.
first stuff where what he started on was just he would break into people's houses and steal whatever woman lived there steal their underwear. But he would put it on while in their house and take pictures of himself wearing it also.
Oh my goodness.
And I think they said he stole over 1,400 pair of underwear. So,
Wow.
yeah,
How
he was
creepy is that?
crazy. And he was like, he was way up in the Canadian.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, where he was a colonel, and he
flew the
I believe
Queen.
he flew the Queen. Yeah, exactly. Yep. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You just never know. You just really never know what somebody's capable of. But
And that man to get to the rank he was, and he was a younger guy. For somebody that high up, he had worked his ass off, and it goes to show you never know what they're thinking about when
Right. True.
people are at home behind closed doors or whatever, right?
I know. If it makes things like that make you feel like you can't really trust anybody, it's scary.
Right. Very scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was dying to hear how everybody else was playing that off. I knew it, and I didn't think I'd ever see women that would try to brush away stuff of this nature.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, I know. That's why, I was surprised too that some were like, this is stupid. It was dumb for him to do, but who cares? It does really matter. That's why I made the video with that colonel in it, because I was like, look at this. This happens. If you know true crime, this happens. This is a way to terrorize women. It's not a stupid thing. It's a way to terrorize and yeah, just terrorize women, really.
Just the idea of knowing somebody been in your house, messing with your things.
Right.
That's scary for a woman.
I don't want to change the subject. Did y'all see where Tammy Slayton's husband died?
Who?
From 1,000-Pound Sisters?
No.
Oh no. I don't watch that show. You watch 1,000-Pound Sisters? You watch that?
Have you seen it?
No.
Yeah, I watched it.
No,
what
I
is
need
it?
to watch it. Okay. All right.
It's excellent entertainment.
Okay. Okay.
Or Holly don't know anything about it.
It's good stuff. Check it out.
What made you say that? You just thought of it.
Because I seen that right before we come on, I was like, I didn't know if it was true or not. I felt bad for the guy.
Some of our audience probably watches that show.
Was he 500 pounds too?
Yeah, he was a big man.
Yeah.
They met in rehab for big people.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
They had just got married.
Well, that's sad. I didn't see
Oh
that.
my goodness. That is sad.
Yeah. He didn't look old either.
Yeah.
Maybe in his 30s.
Yeah. Now, is that the video you was talking about, or you was telling me about earlier?
The one I made with Russell Williams?
Yeah.
Yes. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, that's who came to my mind when I heard about Dawn doing that was him.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that a long time ago on Unsolved Mysteries or some shit.
48 hours, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I had a lot of people say the same thing. They were like, this is so funny. It's the first case I thought of when I heard about Dawn. So, yeah.
I know one of those serial killers was BTK. I think he dressed up in it, but I don't think
I think he did the panty thing too. I'm pretty sure.
Or he may have kept it as trophies. Maybe.
He might have when he was younger. I'm not for sure, and it escalated. I know he did dress up in women's clothes and
he did.
Pictures. He was a creepy guy. Very creepy.
I know.
I'm telling you, it don't look good for Dawn, man. After that come out, I really wonder if he ain't responsible now. And I was almost like Candace has done something and he helped her cover it up. That though, man, that's some troubling stuff to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I was telling you at 40, I didn't, when you think about him doing it and it's 2006, you picture him as younger, but still 40 is old.
Even if
I
you're
know.
young, it's still weird. But you
It
know,
probably-
yeah,
If he had been a teenager or something, then you kind of might have thought,
Yeah.
okay, dumb teenage prank
yeah,
or something like that. Like somebody dared him, but he's 40 freaking
Right.
years old. I mean, it's not that. It's definitely not, a prank or something that did matter. It matters.
he couldn't help himself, pretty much.
And at that age, I would be willing to guess that he has a very high drive if he's out doing that kind of stuff at 40.
Yeah. 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 I think he's still got a high drive even now. I mean, I don't know if it's true or not, but like him going into Knoxville and stuff. Candace even said at some point, and I wish I knew when and where, but she said something about finding panties in Don's truck
Oh,
after one of his, where he takes off his binges or whatever.
Really?
Yeah. Yep, she did.
No, knowing that now makes you think of that in a whole new light, don't it?
yeah, you have to go back and say, well, that's not right. That's weird.
Oh,
And I don't think Candace would have any reason to lie about that. I mean,
Candace might not even knew he had that charge. You never know.
yeah, true.
yeah.
That's
It was
true.
before they got together, right before, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's nothing I would want to tell anybody, probably.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a good point. I bet she probably didn't know because I know you ain't going to tell the story that way.
And it's not like Candace looks like a fastidious enough person to go, before I date this guy, let me pull up his record. I can't see that happening.
I would, that's one thing I missed about where me and Brady's been together forever. Back then, it would have been so nice to be able to like Facebook and Google people and see what they're all about.
I know.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it?
It'll come in handy our kids start dating, really. Oh. I'll be seeing her dating, Hey.
Yeah. None of that when I met my husband either. I met him at a nightclub and he was really drunk and I was not. So it was interesting.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's funny. He was really drunk, huh?
Mm-hmm. He was trying to dance with me and it was so sad. It was really bad. And he said
That's the best time to
he
dance.
got my phone number. And so he called me the next day and asked for a date that night. So I said, okay. And when I opened the door, he was like, whew. And I was like, what? And he's like, I couldn't remember what you look like. And he's like, I'm so scared. Maybe it was going to be bad.
Thought he had the beer goggles on. He's going to open up the door and maybe be Shrek or something.
I know. I'm like, wow, thanks. That's great.
That's a cute story.
Oh, man. I remember I was at the bar drinking one night, and the next day at work, they was reminding me of it because I didn't even remember going home. They said I was dancing with a pregnant woman.
I never heard that before. That's crazy.
That's the greatest thing I've heard in a long time.
Why would you be pregnant in a bar?
They said I was all about her too, man.
I wouldn't say that on YouTube. It's weird.
That is so funny.
I've never been that drunk.
Sorry. I'm just picturing it right now.
That's crazy.
How pregnant are we talking?
Apparently, she was somebody's designated driver.
Oh,
Probably.
I felt so, man. They give me hell about that for a long time.
that's great. I love that.
Oh, thank you,
that's so
Suzanne.
funny. Huh?
He never told me that. Are you embarrassed to tell me? He's told me many stories. I haven't heard that one.
Holly was being super truthful about she met her husband and he was drunk, so I thought I'd tell an honest story. I probably should have kept that one in the pocket though.
I
I'm
heard about
sorry.
your
I'm glad you.
friend
I'm glad you
dating with
said.
the two larger ladies. Remember?
Yeah. I had a buddy, man. He came running up to me at the bar one night, just about to pass out drunk, but so happy. He said, "I'm going home with not one, but count them, two girls." I was like, "You go, boy." He's like, "We go and dance." They said next song, then we're leaving. I look out there on the dance floor, and there he is, sure enough, dancing his ass off. He's orbiting these chicks. I'm telling you, they are some big girls. He come he come back to our apartment the next day and he had a black eye. He swears up that it was a car wreck. I'm not sure what happened.
That's so funny.
It
Oh
was
my gosh.
all you could see was that he couldn't dance for the shit anyways. His only move was like his one, and that's all you'd see is like popping beside one of them is his hands pop out every now and then. Oh, he swears up he swears up and down we're all exaggerating. My buddy, he uh was a male nurse. He said he was good at weights, and he said one old girl was good 550.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. Wow.
But he was going home with not one but two. Count them.
He had his hands full, that's for sure.
Oh, he had a lot full.
Mm. Those were the crazy days, man.
Yeah. Yeah, but everybody had those. That's that's
Yep.
what I'm saying. Everybody acts like when you talk about Don and Candace, you're trying to act, higher and mightier, like you've never done that. No, I think
No.
everybody has done dumb shit and made mistakes,
Mhm.
but
Absolutely. Yep.
they grew out of it when either they had children or finally, some people
Yeah.
it takes longer than others,
To grow up. It
right?
does.
Yeah.
But I mean, these people are doing it in their 30s, 40s, 50s. Don's only 3 years from being 60 years old, and he
I
was just
know.
arrested a couple times
Isn't
in
that
the
crazy?
last few years. Think about that.
That's a lot on your body,
I'm
going
like,
on.
how is he not dead? I mean,
Mhm.
all that crack, and it's just he's like you said, it blows my mind. I think about it. He's almost 60 years old. How? Like he's just so evil that it just nothing's taking him down. No overdose. I don't get it. And I know this sounds mean, but I don't know how he's still walking around. Like you guys
And
said.
Mhm.
well, in like there's no break in this of any substantial time either that I've seen really. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
it's not like he cleaned up and was 15 years sober and then he backslid. I don't
Right.
see huge breaks in activity
No.
really.
It's in
That's
and out
true.
of jail and getting in trouble.
Mhm.
If you do a timeline, there's
And
tons.
his from what we've heard, uh, weapon of choice is coke and crack and
That's
stuff.
some hard drugs.
That's hard on your body,
Oh,
Your
man.
heart.
absolutely. Yes. He must be a tough old something to be able to withstand that. Maybe though I can see him maybe giving up the hard stuff at different points and maybe just only drinking or something like
Yeah.
that. But it's not like, he can go back and say, "Hey, I was clean from, this year to this year." Like you said, that's
Right.
never been said. So I think it seems like he's been doing it since he was real young and just never quit.
Yeah. I worry about Candace, how she drinks all the time. That can't be good for you, your
Mm-mm.
liver.
Well,
No,
she's
no.
40, she's right at 40, ain't she?
I think.
She's 41, I think now.
41.
Oh, is she that old?
Yeah.
So that's hard
Yeah.
on your liver. A lot
I
of stuff
know. I
like that.
know.
I had beer that went bad in my refrigerator. I can't do it. The hangover beats my ass. I can drink 4 beers and feel horrible for a week. I don't know how they can do it.
Especially you get
Yeah.
older. So
Well, I was an addict for between 10 and 15 years on opiates, and I drank with them at the same time. I would drink, and I hit
right.
it. And my husband, though, I told you he was drunk when I met him. He's an alcoholic, and so we've never had alcohol in the house. So what I had. And so we don't have anything now because we just feel like if we're going to stay on the straight and narrow, we don't even have alcohol in the house. But, there's nothing wrong with it. There's times I wish I could have a glass of wine, but I don't want to make him stumble or make him start thinking about it, because he's been doing good for a while now, good long time. So
That's good.
Yeah.
I got
It's like,
super lucky. I used to love to drink. I drank like a fish, and when we had our son, I was just like, man, I have got to stop this. I can't keep doing it.
And he quit overnight almost.
And I quit almost overnight. I had no super bad withdrawals, but I mean, I would drink a 6-pack on the way home from work every day.
Wow. That's awesome that you could give it up like that. Be thankful for that. That you were.
I feel like God touched me. I really do. People talk about, having the Spirit come into them. I really feel like it would almost took God to help me not to have had, seizures and everything else.
That knew I wouldn't have nothing to do with you if you kept on drinking.
Well, yeah, Brady said she was going to take my son, and I'd never seen him again.
I can't do the alcohol thing.
I told Blake that, but he wanted to marry me, and he was still partying and getting really drunk. And at that point, I had realized that he had an actual real problem. It wasn't just being 21, and having fun. And I asked him to stop, and he couldn't on his own. And so he wanted to, ask me to marry him, and he had the ring and everything. And I was like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't say yes, because I said, all I can envision is me at home with 2 little kids and not knowing where you are. You're at a bar all night. I said, that's not the future I want. And so he made a promise at that point. He's like, I can do this. I can stop. And he did. Okay. And he just had one kind of falling off the wagon whenever, kind of like when the kids were small. We went through some hard times, and he fell off the wagon for sure. But he's been back on ever since, and he's doing great. So it's like you said, and none of us are perfect. It's not that I'm some, have this perfect life that I've never done anything wrong. And it's, it's what you do after. It's changing and doing it for your children because you love them and you want better for them, and doing it for your family, for your husband, for your wife. I just have so much respect for people who've been able to overcome that kind of thing and get clean, because it's not easy. You talk about God. I had gotten to the point where I was like, I have chronic pain. So I was getting a lot of this heavy stuff myself from the doctor, but I would go buy it on the streets too, because I would run out. And I remember one day just completely falling apart about it. And I just said, God, I have no idea how to give this up and get clean, but I'm telling you, I want to, like, I'm willing. And I said, I don't know how you're going to do it. And to tell you guys from then on what he did in my life that lined everything up where I could, now I'm clean and have been since 2019. But I was at a point, I was so addicted. I was like, I have no idea what I'm going to do. And he did it. It was amazing.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, it's awesome that you was able to turn it around. It's rough life. I know that. I used to party way too much. And,
addiction everywhere.
Yeah.
It is. It really is. I mean, it's everywhere, and so many people.
Everybody probably has somebody in their family that's been an addict, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Or 2.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. I know. It is so common. It's really sad. And I hate it because so many times parents are neglectful and abusive to their kids because they're addicted to a drug or while they're on the drug, and they wouldn't necessarily be that way if it wasn't for the drugs. You know what I mean? Like, like if they had never started or were clean, they wouldn't do the things or not do the things they're supposed to do for the child. It would be different. But a lot of this, the core of it is drugs and addiction.
Mhm.
And the kids pay the price, really.
And you know, addiction now is 50 millions more time dangerous than it used to be.
It
Because
is.
where they have tightened up the restrictions on prescription pain medication and stuff, everybody's turning to fentanyl and
But heroin,
overdosing and dying.
yeah,
Exactly.
the meth, awful stuff.
You know, I don't
Yeah.
know what the answer is to solve the problem, but it seems like it's something ain't working. You know.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, for chronic pain patients, they started back in like 2017, 2018. It was all of a sudden there's this horrible epidemic of opioids. And so, like, everybody, even the pain patients, were taking off the medicine, and they were like,
Mhm.
nobody can have it now. Well, then a ton of those people, and I know because I had friends, um, they did take it for pain. They really had real pain,
Right,
but when they totally took it away, they turned to the streets, and you've got people 50, 60 going out and getting freaking heroin because
Yep.
they want pain relief. I mean, they made the situation even worse. I mean, for those people, for those that
right.
really had real pain,
You
it was a
know,
nightmare for them.
my dad was dying of cancer. I mean, in the late stages, and he was having to drive 30 minutes to do bottle counts.
Yeah,
Gosh, are you
like
serious?
weekly or something crazy.
Oh, that's
And
terrible.
I
See,
and
that's
I
what I'm
know that that
saying.
happened within a couple weeks of him dying. He had done one. You know
Oh,
that my poor dad looked like
that's
a
awful.
skeleton, and
Yeah,
he's having to make a well, it was Beckley, so that's
yeah,
45-minute car
drive.
ride,
Or he wouldn't get his medicine.
or he wouldn't have nothing.
Oh my
Period.
That's
gosh.
crazy.
Ain't that
See,
crazy?
no, it is crazy. I mean, pill counts and stuff like that are kind of par for the course if you're in pain management. But something like that is ridiculous. Why are you
I couldn't
punishing
believe it.
these people? Why are you punishing these innocent people because of a problem
Yeah, they
really
need
they
it.
created to begin with, the pharmaceutical
Oh
company?
yeah.
You know,
Push
and my dad
push
had
it.
never been addicted to anything in his life.
No.
Had never
Hmm.
been an alcoholic. Nothing
Yeah,
like that. And you know, that's what people don't see.
that's
You know.
awful. Yeah, that's terrible. I'm so sorry. Mm.
But
Oh, I was so mad about that shit, and that was it too. That's the way. Either he would have went, or he would have just sit there and suffered in
Oh,
pain.
it's awful.
That was our two options.
That's awful. That should not happen. That should not happen.
no, but it does all the time, it seems like.
See, and then he's like so miserable, and that is such a hassle. They call the people in, what do they call them?
Hospice.
The hospice in.
Right?
That was about the only option they have, and then all hospice does is prescribes the shit that'll kill you. You
Almost
know,
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
and it's a very bad side effect that the war on, trying to calm down the opioid crisis has had.
Yeah. It really is. It really is.
But
I've had to
you would
turn
think,
to natural
okay.
stuff. I found something that works pretty good for my chronic pain, but I have a very messed up spine, and I've had scoliosis since I was a child.
Oh
And
wow.
so it started out legitimate, but then turns out I guess
Yeah,
I had the addiction gene in me, which
I
my
think
family, it wasn't surprising, but
Right.
I
yeah.
think there's the majority of people started out innocent.
Right.
Yeah.
For the right reasons.
You
Right.
know.
Yeah. Like even people who would go to prom care, or urgent care, just because they sprained their ankle, they would be given freaking month worth of Vicodin. And so they take it the whole month. And when they run out, they start feeling bad. They
Uh-huh.
start feeling some bad. And then they're like, they keep calling and getting refills as long as they would let it happen. And back then, it really happened. I mean, you
Yeah,
really could call it, and it was way past when you should have been taking it, but people get addicted fast. The stuff is powerful. So,
I got Percocets in Seattle, Washington, for an ingrown toenail. Out there, people don't do that. They don't abuse the opioid stuff. There,
Really?
all of them are on
Marijuana?
no
Meth.
meth.
Oh, okay. I
And
didn't
this
know
was a
that.
good, what, 18 years ago? So it
Yeah,
might be
but I
different.
mean, this was a while back, but still, the opioid problem was probably what late '90s, early 2000s
Yeah.
started.
Yeah. That's when it
But
started.
still, on the West Coast, it was all meth. That's all they did out there.
I
I
didn't know
couldn't
that.
believe
Oh, wow. Yeah, I was on Percocets and I had a fentanyl patch I wore all the
Oh
time.
Lord.
Yep.
Only 2 grains, like the size of 2 grains of salt, is enough fentanyl to kill you.
Oh, I know. And I used to slap on a bunch of patches at one time. I could have
Wow.
died. Crazy, crazy. I'm so glad I got through that.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
some dangerous shit.
Overdosing is very real. I came close, you know, several times,
Yeah.
but yeah, when I didn't have I didn't have what is it called, Narcan?
Narcan.
Yeah, we didn't have that. My husband would just have to keep a check, make sure I was breathing and stuff. But anyway, sorry, such a bummer thing to talk about, but it's real, and it does matter because when you're one that steps out and calls Don and Candace out, you know
Yeah.
you have to understand what somebody like that is coming from, and it's not that they're not out of the reach of redemption. They could change if they want to.
Right.
They could have changed all this time if they wanted to.
That's what I said. They
Um,
have a good reason. They have 4 reasons. They're kids and they won't change.
I
They don't
know,
do anything to improve themselves. That's
I
my
know,
thing.
I know. I just
That's
wish
it.
they would tell the truth about Summer. I
Me
wish they would
too.
tell the truth about Summer. And then, if they had to spend their lives in prison, that would be so good for both of them. First of all, their health, because they're not going to be
Yeah.
Yeah.
drinking and drugging and all that stuff. And there's things they can do in there. They can work with other people within the prison to help them. You can do things to better yourself, even in there, even in prison. And it might be the best place in the world for them. I mean, like I said, because of the addiction problem.
I got the feeling one of them is way more
Guilty.
responsible than the other one. And I feel like that's about our only chance of that ever happening and of hearing the
Yeah.
actual truth come out.
Which one do you feel is more responsible?
I was
I don't
thinking,
know. I was thinking for sure Candace forever.
Yeah.
Now this new thing with Dawn's got me wondering just how sinister he could possibly be.
Yeah.
yeah,
But
definitely.
if it is him, Candace is such a dumbass for
Taking up for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
putting herself in the position she has,
Right.
because it's on her in everybody's eyes because she was the parent that was in charge when she went missing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely what puts her at the forefront for me, is that she was the one, Summer was in her care, or supposed to be in her care, when she
Right.
went missing. So I don't know. I mean, I go back and forth from which
I
one is
do
my number
too.
one. Yeah, I really do. But I do feel like you, John. I feel like Dawn's kind of slid into the number one spot with this latest stuff. So
Man, it's wild, ain't it?
it is.
Now you have that and then his sisters, that incident. So there's a couple different things.
I
Yeah.
know.
I'm
I
sure
mean,
there's
they both have. Sorry, hon.
No, you're fine.
They both have shown us, who they are. I mean, you just have to not be blind to it. They've told us and shown us who they are and what they're about. And
No, yeah. They're about themselves, really.
yeah, they're
You know,
very
I,
selfish.
I feel like now it's the way people are is pretty much how it's going to be. I feel like Dawn and Candace stick to the channels where they got this echo chamber that they're
Uh-huh.
not going to hear anything negative about them. And
Right.
it's like that's done now.
Yep. That's right. I mean, and she still, Daisy still has her Cash App for Candace rolling a lot of the time. And
That blew on my mind. She decided to do that on the 2-year anniversary.
I know.
Summer. Yeah.
Well, it's not about summer anymore,
No.
over there. It's really not. I mean, the other live they had, I don't know when, they had a rule that nobody could bring up summer. Like your comment would be deleted if
I've
you
seen
brought
that.
up summer. So, what is that about? I mean, when would it ever be a bad time to discuss summer?
We look at some of these kids, missing kids, their parents, they would kill to have the chance to talk about their child's case.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
you got these two turning down the opportunity and wanting to change the subject.
Yeah, they like talking about everything else but their missing daughter, usually, you know.
Hmm. Candace
Kyron
definitely
Horman's
runs.
mother,
What'd you
you would
say?
think he disappeared yesterday. Kyron Horman's mom, she
Uh-huh.
still talks to him when she does an interview. She'll still say, Kyron, honey, if you can hear me, you
Yeah.
know.
Yep.
And think of Summer Wesson where she could hear him, and she hears him saying, change the subject.
Yeah, I know. That makes them look so guilty. The fact that they don't even want to talk about her. And when Dawn does talk about her, it is the same script over
Yeah.
and over. It's the
Past.
same
Yeah.
stuff we've always heard. And it's always everybody else's fault.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I
And
mean,
he
he
even.
doesn't even act like Summer getting gone is that sad. It's just sad
Yeah.
what YouTube has done. But
I
he
thought
just,
about it. To me, it's like all of us are reading a book that they've done finished.
Right.
yeah,
That's how
that's a
I
good one.
feel.
Right.
I feel like
Yep.
they already know
Where
what's
she is.
happened to Summer, what's happened, regardless of what it is. I feel like they know.
Oh yeah, they do.
Don't you?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they
Um,
know. I'm getting to the point where it's like I'm losing a hope that law enforcement is going to be able to solve this and bring justice for Summer. I do. I have days that are better than others, but a lot of days I'm just so discouraged about it. I
Right.
just don't get it.
I get like that too, definitely.
I
Yeah.
feel like the longer this goes on, the worse I feel like the situation was for Summer.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep. Well, I mean, if it's sex trafficking that she was sold into, um, that's the only thing I can think of about why this is maybe taking so long.
Right.
Maybe there's connections and rings and things like that they can watch and get more information and maybe save more children, possibly. But
but every day it's going on is the more that's getting abused.
I know,
That's
I
the
know.
downside to that. I kind of felt like that for a while, but I
Yeah.
just don't know now.
All right.
Yeah,
Two
I know.
years later,
Yeah, I go back and forth with the sex trafficking thing. It's not in, like, I don't think that that's definitely it. But I've been listening and watching. Have you heard about that movie, Sound of Freedom?
Yeah, we were talking
On
about that
there?
earlier today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to see that on July 4th. That's an amazing movie. It's hard to watch,
Uh-huh.
and it's a true story that actually this stuff did happen to these children, but like you just want to do something about it. And
Right.
I went to support the group. The real hero's name is Tim Ballard, and his group, this is a privatized group that goes and they're constantly rescuing children out of sex trafficking. And it's called Operation Underground Railroad. So check that out on YouTube. You can see stories of the children they've saved and stuff. It's amazing.
that's awesome.
Hmm. But a lot of people, like the mainstream media, is coming out today complaining about it because one of the things the movie shows is how having no border to Mexico um, enables them to do this so
Yeah.
much more. they come over, you know, where it's open, and they don't have to explain why that child is with them, you know, or show documentation that they're the ones that are supposed to have that child. So these abducted children come into the country and nothing is done. And mainstream media, you know, because it's a wall and a border issue, um, they they don't like it, and they're putting it down. But it actually was like the #1 movie when it opened, and it outdid Indiana Jones. And it's
Yeah.
just been a real big shocker to everybody. But yeah, it was
Yeah.
a really good movie.
See, I heard that they did something to boost Indiana Jones numbers too because of that.
They just spent a lot of money advertising it.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, like it was to try to distract from that,
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
They're saying Disney,
Yeah.
they've lost so much money recently on their movies and stuff. So I can believe
Yes.
it. The stuff that they put out nowadays.
Oh, it's all woke crap. Nobody wants to watch that shit.
I wouldn't let my kids watch it.
No,
Probably.
absolutely not.
So
Nope. Things are changing. People are
they
standing
are.
up
People
and
are.
taking a
Yeah.
stand, and I'm really glad. I'm just trying to help the good causes. You know, they need our support. And yep. Well, my phone. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Thanks for helping our cause this evening.
Oh, you're welcome. My phone's just about to die. I will tell everybody that right before I got on here, I got something in the mail, and I have won $5,000.
Oh,
Lucky
cool.
dog.
I know. I couldn't believe it. Anyway,
How'd you win it?
it's like I threw it away first. It's like a flyer for a car dealership, like having a grand reopening. And I thought, whatever game this is, it's going to give you money off purchasing a car. And I threw it in the trash, and my teenage son comes up and he goes, "You're not even going to look at it?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Well, play the game, just see what it is." And so I did it, and a 1 in 70,000 chance I won $5,000. The grand prize was $25,000. And I read all the little print, all the small print, because I'm so skeptical, and I'm like, this is not happening. This is some kind of gimmick. And I read all the small print and everything. I mean, it looks legit to me. I will believe it when I have the cash in hand, but it looks legit.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I hope it is.
I know. We had everything broke in the last week.
They won a car like that. It was real.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It might be.
I mean, they had a picture of a woman that won 25,000. You know, the last time they did something like this. So I hope it's legit. We'll see. I'm not getting too excited because I'll probably go and they'll be like, "It's if you buy a car." I'm like, oh great, I can't buy a car.
Yeah.
Or
yeah, I need that $5,000.
I know. All right, guys. Well, thanks for letting me come up. It was really nice talking to you.
Well, thanks for coming up and helping out.
Yep.
No problem, guys. Take
Good
care.
to see you.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I hope she wins.
Yeah. I think somebody, I seen on YouTube a couple of videos. A woman won a car like that. She thought it was a scam too. She took it down there and it wasn't. She got a car.
The twins are giving away a truck and $10,000 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Keep doing it. They must have a hell of a sponsor, you know?
Yeah. What are their names?
The Hodge twins.
Yeah.
Y'all check them out. They're good. Guys, we appreciate everybody coming. What do y'all think, though, man? I don't know. I think it's bad. It's bad.
It's bad for him. It looks bad on him.
Bad on him.
I know they'll try to just sweep it under the rug, but I don't think you can do that, really.
And it looks legit. It looks like that is actually what happened. A 40-year-old man got busted for stealing that. So we'll see. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Thanks to all the members. We've been remodeling the last couple weeks. That's why we ain't been on much. And plus, we got our video removed. So we'll try to have some more stuff out this week. We got something we're looking at.
Yeah, definitely. Thank y'all for coming tonight.
But thanks everybody for coming, and y'all have a good week. Bye bye.
Bye.